One day, Marcus asked me a question that shattered everything I believed. Robert, if you died tomorrow, what would you regret? I didn't even have to think. The answer came immediately. I would regret not spending more time with Sarah while she was alive. I would regret not playing more with my kids when they were young. I would regret not taking that year off to travel when I was 30. I would regret not writing my book. I would regret not learning piano. I would regret not having more adventures. Every single regret was about something I didn't do, not about something I did do. Then Marcus hit me with the truth that changed everything. Robert, do you know what the top 5 regrets of dying people are? Nurses who work in hospice care have studied this. They've talked to thousands of people in their final days. And do you know what dying people regret? He counted them on his fingers. Number 5. I wish I had let myself be happier. People realize too late that happiness is a choice, not a destination. Number 4. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. People realize that relationships matter more than accomplishments. Number 3. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. People realize that honesty and vulnerability matter more than appearing strong. Number 2. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. This is especially true for men. They realize they miss their children's youth and their partner's companionship. And number 1, the biggest regret of all, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Marcus let that sink in. Then he continued. Notice something? Not one person said, I wish I had worked more. Not one person said, I wish I had a bigger house. Not one person said, I wish I had more money in my bank account. He was right. Every regret was about not living, not about not having. This is when Marcus revealed the biggest secret of all. The system we live in is designed to make you believe that you need to earn the right to live, that you need to work first, save first, prepare first. Then, someday, when you have enough, you can finally start living. He leaned closer. But Robert, that enough never comes. There's always one more promotion to get, one more goal to reach, one more dollar to save. The finish line keeps moving. Marcus told me about a study he'd read. Researchers asked people making $30,000 a year how much money they'd need to be happy. They said $50,000. Then they asked people making $50,000. They said $80,000. People making $80,000 said $150,000. People making $150,000 said $300,000. No matter how much people had, they always thought they needed about 50% more to be happy. It's a trap, Marcus said. Happiness isn't at the next level of income. It's not waiting for you in retirement. It's not in the future at all. Then he told me the 3 sentences that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. The 3 sentences that destroyed 52 years of lies. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is not practice. This is it. He let each sentence sit. Life is not a dress rehearsal. We get one shot at this. There's no practice round, no do-over. This is the real thing happening right now. This is not practice. Today matters. This moment matters. Waiting for some perfect future moment is waiting for something that will never come. This is it. This life, right now, with all its imperfections and challenges, this is what you get. Either you live it now or you waste it waiting. Marcus looked me straight in the eyes. Robert, you're 76 years old. If you're lucky, you have maybe 10 good years left, maybe less. Are you going to spend those 10 years the same way you spent the last 52? Or are you finally going to live? So, what does all this mean for us today? I left the park that day feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. Everything I'd believed was wrong. Everything I'd worked for was backwards. I had spent my entire life climbing a ladder that was leaning against the wrong wall. But here's the thing. I still had time to change. I was 76. I wasn't dead yet. I could still make different choices. So I did something crazy. At least everyone thought it was crazy. I sold my house. That big, empty house that reminded me every day of what I'd lost. I didn't need all that space anymore. I took that money and I started living, really living, for the first time in my life. I bought a ticket to Italy. I saw the places Sarah and I always talked about. I cried in Rome thinking about her, but I also smiled, knowing she would have wanted me to go. I learned to play guitar, something I'd wanted to do since I was 15 years old, but never had time for. Turns out, I had plenty of time. I just never used it. I wrote letters to my kids, long letters, telling them everything I'd learned, apologizing for all the times I chose work over them, explaining the truth that no one had ever explained to me. I volunteered at a school, reading to children, something simple but meaningful. I made new friends, real friends, not just coworkers I'd see at retirement parties. And you know what? For the first time in my life, I felt truly alive. But here's what this means for you. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s, you still have time, but only if you act now. Society is going to keep telling you the same lies they told me. Work hard, save money, wait for retirement, sacrifice now for some perfect future. Don't believe it. Here's the truth. You don't need $1 million to be happy. You don't need a mansion. You don't need a fancy car. What you need is time and freedom and experiences. You need to work less and live more. You need to buy less stuff and create more memories. You need to stop preparing for life and start living it. I know what you're thinking, but Robert, I have bills to pay. I have responsibilities. I can't just quit my job and travel the world. You're right. I'm not saying to become homeless like Marcus. I'm not saying to abandon all responsibility. But I am saying this. Look at your life right now. Really look at it. How many hours do you work each week? Could you work fewer hours and make it work? Could you downsize your life so you need less money? How much stuff do you own that you never use? Could you sell it and use that money for experiences instead? How many dreams have you put on hold? Could you start one of them this weekend instead of waiting? Marcus taught me this simple formula. It's called the die with zero principle. The idea is simple. Your goal in life should not be to die with the most money. Your goal should be to die with the best memories and the fewest regrets. That means spending your money on experiences while you're young enough to enjoy them. That means taking risks while you still have energy. That means living your life in the order that makes sense for living, not for saving. Think about it this way. Would you rather travel Europe at 30 or at 70? Would you rather learn to surf at 40 or at 80? Would you rather play with your kids when they're young or wish you had when they're grown? The answer is obvious, but most people do it backwards. They sacrifice their youth and health for money. Then they try to use that money to buy back their youth and health. But you can't. It doesn't work. Here's another truth Marcus taught me. Most of the things you think you need, you don't actually need. You don't need the newest phone. You don't need designer clothes. You don't need a house that impresses your neighbors. You don't need to keep up with everyone else. What you need is freedom. And freedom comes from needing less, not having more. The less you need, the less you have to work. The less you work, the more time you have. The more time you have, the more you can actually live. It's that simple. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. 6 months after I met Marcus, I went back to the park to find him. I wanted to thank him. I wanted to tell him how much he'd changed my life. I wanted to show him pictures from Italy. But Marcus wasn't there. I asked around. Another homeless man told me that Marcus had died 2 weeks ago. Heart attack, quick and painless. I was devastated, but also strangely at peace, because Marcus died exactly the way he wanted to, free, happy, with no regrets. At his small funeral, which I helped arrange, I met someone surprising, Marcus's daughter. I didn't know he had a daughter. Marcus never mentioned her. She told me something that shocked me one final time. Marcus wasn't homeless because he lost everything. He was homeless by choice. His daughter had begged him for years to come live with her. She had money, she had space, she wanted to take care of him. But Marcus always refused. Her daughter showed me something, a letter Marcus wrote to her 3 years before he died. In the letter, Marcus explained his choice. He wrote,
I know my life looks like failure to most people, but I've never been happier. I've never been more free. I've never been more myself. I spent 40 years living for other people's expectations. I spent the last 15 years living for me. If I could go back, I'd make the same choice again." The daughter looked at me with tears in her eyes. I didn't understand for a long time. I was ashamed of my dad, homeless, no money, no success. But in his last years, I finally got it. He was the happiest person I've ever known, happier than all my successful friends, happier than anyone in their big houses and fancy cars. She handed me something. It was Marcus's journal. "He wanted you to have this," she said. "He wrote about you. He said you were finally waking up. He wanted you to share his message
with others." I've spent the last 2 years reading that journal and living by its wisdom. And now I'm 78. I don't know how much time I have left, but I know this: I will not waste another day. Every morning I wake up and I ask myself the question Marcus taught me to ask. If I died tonight, would I be happy with how I live today? Most days now, the answer is yes. So here's my message to you, the message Marcus wanted me to share. Stop living like you have forever. You don't. Stop sacrificing your present for a future that might never come. Stop trading your life for money and stuff you don't even really want. Stop waiting for permission to be happy. Nobody's gonna give it to you. Start living now, today, this moment. Take that trip you keep putting off. Learn that skill you've always wanted. Call that friend you miss. Hug your family longer. Work less, play more. Take risks, make memories. Remember what I told you at the start. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is not practice. This is it. I wasted 52 years believing the lie that life happens later. Don't make my mistake. You're watching this video right now. That means you're alive. You still have time. But time is the one thing you can never get back. So what are you gonna do with yours? I'm Robert Chen. I'm 78 years old, and I finally learned how to live. The question is, will you?